This is the heads that are going to go on the Willis. They're 406 heads. They're out of a 62 Ford, halfway through 63. They built 406s. And a friend of mine had them completely redone with stainless steel valves. I mean, he went to the max. It's got a 3-angle valve job. It's got the titanium keepers. It's got the beehive coil springs. It's been ported and polished. And the things are really nice. And the way you can see, if you reach in there, you can feel the swell.
Wow. That's like a baby's bottom right there.
Yeah. And the way you can tell a 406
Actually,
head,
that's not PC anymore. You can't.
I know you may be a pervert.
I might go to jail.
You can tell the 406 heads is this is a high compression chamber in here.
Right.
And it's got the V going to the top. So that's a 406 head.
Cool.
And I've had these heads for 5 years and never done. Ryan, my buddy, he went to the extreme with these things and did an outstanding job on them. Had an outstanding job done on them.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to put them on the Willis.
Can we go take a look at the engine where you're at so far?
Yes, let me. Okay, so you see how big the exhaust, not the ports, but the way they hook on here. And it's odd the way the head looks. But this, you can tell what head it is. It's got right here, it's got a C, which means it's 60. It's got a 3, which means it's 63. Most of the time it means that. Sometimes the numbers aren't exact. AE, which all the 60 model motors have the AE in it. This is the piston and rods. And the piston is 4.050 inches across here. And this is a stock piston out of a 65 Thunderbird.
All right. Neat.
And this, Ford's got a funky rear main seal on it. And I had to build a tool to pull the rear main. And the way I did it, this screws down into rear main. Then these are up. And I set it down, run these down, it pulls the main out of the block.
Oh, neat.
The main cap. So a little bit of engineering, but the main cap is right here. When I got my rear main cap, there's 2 pieces of material that go in here and here, and it didn't come with the kit that I bought, the gasket set, so I gotta wait till tomorrow. But it's got a little Teflon seal in there, and same thing on the bottom. Then this deal right here goes up in here, and from what I think, it keeps the oil from going out the back. Just kind of lines everything up.
The rack lifted your block work?
Yes, yeah.
Neat.
And I got the all the other mains in. This thing turns over pretty easy. And when you put the mains in, you have these, because this was a factory block, nothing was marked. So I put a dot. There are 3 dots right here. This is the first main. There's 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots. Obviously that one. This is the thrust bearing right here. It looks like this. And this is a normal bearing. There's only 1 thrust bearing right in the middle, and that keeps the crankshaft from walking. It rubs up against this. And these were all in pretty good shape, but this was the front bearing, and you can see a little bit of the copper was starting to show in it.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're fine. Just throw them back in.
that's right. No, I did buy new bearings.
Good, good.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to stop until I get the rear main seal kit tomorrow, which my good friend from Advanced Auto Parts has ordered for me.
All right, on.
So once I get that, I can get this all together,
Cool.
and then I can put the pistons in.
All right. It's going in there, huh?
Yes.
Right on.
Yeah. I'm getting closer. Everything underneath the car is done.
Oh, we saw how pretty that was too.
Yeah, up front is done. Tomorrow, I got to thinking about it. The only problem that I had, that I think I'm going to have, because Ford's almost all on the front sump oil pans, and I think I set this drag link deep enough that I'm going to put an oil pan on this motor here to the front sump and see if it fits. I'm going to do that tomorrow. So
All right.
tomorrow I will know.
Cool.
And one other thing, let me show you over here, Neil. I have this motor, I've had it for years, and this is a replacement block. They have ribs in them, which it's hard to see. Maybe you can see these better, but it makes the block stronger. This is a 360, but it has the same bore as a 390. It's just the crankshaft and the rods are different. So I got this thing and started cleaning it, thinking it would be a better motor. And let me show you what I found. What I found, if you look in this cylinder, see that right there? That's not oil, that's a gouge.
Wow.
And I think it broke a ring. And that's where the ring scored up the side of it. So this block's no good.
Well, you can bore it out a whole bunch.
Well, no, I think you'd have to re-sleeve that one.
Yes, sir.
All right, what I'm doing today is I was putting the distributor in the Ford motor, the 390. This distributor came out of the motor. I cleaned it up, and I was having a heck of a time, and I'll show you in a minute what the problem was. But going through a Ford distributor, this goes onto the camshaft. It interacts with it, and where Ford is different than Chevrolet and Mopar, each one of them are different. If you turn it around, the Ford has a octagon, I guess. Maybe it's six-sided. What would that be? A
Hexagon.
hexagon. It's got one of them, but it slides up in there. And it's a little bit of a pain in the neck to get it in right. And then these pieces here have got to go in a certain place. And then this is the rubber gasket that goes on the top of the intake that keeps the oil from coming out. Okay, I've never pulled one this far apart, but I got to wondering, how does it get oil up in this shaft and in these bearings, or in this bearing, to keep this thing from binding up? And I'm looking all over it. When I cleaned it up, you can see these little slots right here. They picked the oil up, and then on the shaft, I won't be able to get it out. Okay, on the shaft, you can see how it's cut a little bit. The oil goes up in those little things, and then it starts migrating up here. This is sitting like this, and this is spinning. Well, it's causing this to pull up in here.
Okay.
And it pulls the oil up into the bearing and oils it. So pretty neat. I'd never seen a Ford distributor part like this. So I took another distributor and I took it all apart, and I cut the shaft where I could prime this engine, get the oil moving through it. So I was frustrated a little bit when a meal came up, and what I've found when I put this in, I'm thinking this thing should turn clockwise. It turns counterclockwise, because when I turned it around backwards, when I started going backwards, it started getting oil pressure.
All right.
So now I got to plug up the.
You always want oil pressure on a freshly built engine,
Yes,
don't
you
you?
do. You want oil all over it. So what I got to do now is plug this oil gauge over here, and I've got this. I'm going to put something in it that goes on the top, because I want to get the oil all up in the rocker arms, and the way a Ford does, not like a Chevrolet. A Chevrolet comes up through the push rod, and then here, and it drips onto here. A Ford, it comes up in the through these saddles, for lack of a better term, and it's got an oil galley in there, and it migrates down the shaft, and at each rocker arm it's got a little slot, the oil comes out, and it oils this as well as going in here, oiling this and oiling this. It's a little bit more complex than a Chevrolet, but it works. So I'm going to prime it, keep priming it until I get oil up in here. I've got oil pressure because it started coming out over here. This is
Yeah, it decided to squirt all out of that gauge, huh?
yes, yeah. Now let's see if this is.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, can you see? You want me to turn the lights on? Okay, when we put this thing in here, we had I didn't have the oil pressure line closed, so I pumped a bunch of oil out of the car, bunch of cupful maybe. So I got oil pressure down to there, so we closed up the oil pressure line, and now I'm trying to get it up into here. And I'm turning it over. Okay, here it comes. I don't know, Neil, can you see down here the oil?
Yes, sir.
So it's pumping up this far. So I got to fill up the rocker arm shaft, which is a hole about that big in it on both sides. So I got to fill both sides up. And my battery went dead.
Oh.
So I'll have to recharge this and fill it up some more. But I'm happy I got oil up here.
Yeah.
You can see it.
You got a bunch of oil, Fred.
Yeah, it's probably going to run out the back if I ain't careful. But yeah, so I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir. That's good.
Yes.
Next is distributor and fire.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Not that quick, but close.
Okay, fine.
I'm happy.
I see you got that shellac everywhere too.
Yeah.
You're using the shellac down here?
Yeah, I used it on both sides of the gasket on the water pump. I used it on the back side of the intake gasket because they kept falling off.
Yeah.
And got them on there. Any place I put a gasket, I put
A little bit of shellac, huh?
Yep, Indian head. Shellac.
You're making a commercial there, Fred.
Absolutely. But it works good. It's better than, in my opinion, the RTV and all that because that makes a mess.
Yeah, yeah.
This, you just paint it on, stick it on. It
Good to
works.
go. Cool.